So here we go then, race 3 and the decider of what's been a dramatic season 1 in SBR BTCC. A great championship, and obviously down to the last race, and that's exactly what you want to see. It's between Ben, Sean and Nathan, but now it looks like Ben's got one hand on the championship as we head to the final round with 13-point lead, 24 for a win. So these guys are going to have to get the skates on if they want to try and stop him, and it's really down to Sean and Nathan to do that. And here's the grid. It is Chris from Brian, Leon, Ash, Oz, Coleman, Adam in 7th, 8th for Jeff, 9th for Lewis, 10th for Nathan, 11th for Liam, 12th for Sean and 13th for Ben, who starts at the back up and winning the race. So hopefully we should see the four-wheel drive cars take the advantage off the start, and that's going to be good for Chris and surely Brian on the front row. So hopefully we'll look for them to maintain possession, and a rocket start from Chris. He's gone. Brian will not the best getaway, and in fact Leon's alongside him as they come into turn 1, but it is indeed Chris that leads through turn 1, sideways from Leon as he takes 2nd, Brian in 3rd, and everyone else getting through fairly safely. And the championship leader's been a bit cautious by the looks of it. Nathan, I expected to go hell for leather, hasn't yet. He's still maintaining that 10th place, or he's 9th now, sorry, so he's just 10th, sorry. He's probably trying to get around the outside of Coleman, but Liam's the one that's dived down the inside of Nathan, so Nathan's a bit too dramatic, and Andrew spat out the side. There's a bit of contact, bumping and boring, and he's the one that's lost out and rejoins in last place. Unlucky for Andrew in his last race in that car. But now the attacks begin, and Chris is the one that's Brian's the one that's getting shuffled back fairly quickly. And Coleman there, and obviously in another disaster after the first race, same sort of thing, but it's Leon that's pulling away out front. Look at them go. Ash up to 2nd, and as Chris starts to get shuffled back, Adam flying through the pack quickly as well. Adam's had a disastrous 2 races despite being one of the faster cars in qualifying. Chris is off. Chris has lost it under the brakes and gone off at Druids, and these guys further back fighting, but it's really not their race anymore. And a sideways, and it looks like Brian's been hit by Nathan. Nathan's got him sideways, and there's more contact in the background, and Ben and Liam hitting door handles there as well, but that's really helped those guys. Jeff off in the foreground, and it's Ben up the inside of Nathan as well. Nathan's got that wrong, and Ben's up the inside. Liam's through as well, so Nathan's really not having a nice night tonight. It's like he's kicked a cat or something, walked under a ladder or something along those lines, because he's just had no luck all night. And now he's trying to redive up the inside of Liam, but Liam's not going to have any of that, as we've seen in the previous races. Sean trying to get inside of Nathan now, and he's got the run, but not quite the speed. And Nathan should be able to cover that off pretty well. So championship contenders after 2 laps are already up to 6th, 8th and 9th. That's some going. And in the background you can see Ash is having a good race as well. He's fighting Adam. Adam looks like he's got through actually, so Adam up into 2nd and flying through the pack. Lewis also making fast progress, as well as, like I say, the championship contenders. But Leon doing a really great job right now, and congratulations to him. He's led 3 laps. Leon's been really improved in the last couple of rounds. Well, I think we've mentioned that before, and scored a good few points lately. Fastest lap for Ben though, getting into his stride, catching Jeff, and he'll be comfortable racing Jeff. We know that Jeff's not the sort of guy that's going to take him out. He'll race hard, but he'll race fair. And Jeff a little bit wide, Ben trying to come through, but that's not the place to overtake. Nathan will be cursing his luck. Went for a move on Brian, got into the side of him, and it just caused chaos behind. But we'll call it a racing incident, I suppose. We haven't seen it back. Brian's the one that lost out the most though, so he slipped right back. Ben looking for the inside of Jeff, can't get in there. Leon though, now under pressure for the first time in this race. He's led 4 laps, now has Adam for company. Adam, like we say, has been fairly quick, and now we're into the evening. This race is set around about 6 o'clock in the evening now, as you'd expect from a touring car race, and Adam does take the lead up into Druids as expected. Leon will do well just to hang on to him and just follow him around and maybe pick up a few lines, a few tips, and increase his speed, and maybe hold off a few of these guys and get into the top 5 or something for this race. And Leon indeed is just following Adam's wheel tracks. Just behind him is Ashley, who's holding up a few people now, and Lewis is looking down the inside, but that's not the place to do it, so they can fly him through these fast bends. Ash doing a great job and just holding inside as Jeff's into the side of Lewis and knocks him off into the gravel. Ben goes through, Liam goes through, Nathan goes through, Sean goes through, and Jeff will probably be a gentleman. He is wait for Lewis, but he's into the wall himself after hitting the grass there, so that's a bit silly. And he does wait for Lewis, and he in fact lets everyone through. So Jeff feeling a bit sorry for himself on that move. It was a bit ambitious. He's probably looking in his mirror at Ben and not looking forward, and just tagged the back of Lewis. So disappointing there, but a bit out of character for Jeff. He doesn't do normally stuff like that, so just put it down as a racing in. So Ben up the inside of Ash, though. He's got a great run out of the Graham Hill bend and along the bottom straight, and it looks like he's going to pull the move off and get unbelievably be up into third after 6 laps. And he is, and Liam's looking racy as well. Looks like a matter of time before Liam gets past his BMW mate there. Ashley with his Top Gear friends all hanging on for the dear life as they head down the straight. You don't know what I'm talking about. He's got the Top Gear guys on the side of his car. He does something special every race, and this week he's got the Top Gear presenters from the old Top Gear presenters on the side of the car with a stick. And Lewis recovers and passes Brian. Andrew will do the same up into Druids, and does, as Jeff is also recovering. But Adam it is that leads. 2nd place for Leon, 3rd for Ben, 4th for Ashley, 5th for Liam, 6th Nathan, 7th is Sean. So Sean's championship slipping away. He's got 3 cars to get past before he can get to Ben, but Ben being held up by Leon at the moment is his only saving grace. But he's now all over the back of Leon and heading towards paddock. But the power of the Leon's car, it'd be difficult to overtake, and Leon looks like he's got it covered, but he's gone sideways and wide into Paddock Hill Ben, and Ben's through and into 2nd place to chase Adam. Meanwhile, more contact in the background. Now Ashley's getting shuffled back. He's been pinged out wide, and now he's lost 3 positions. Or has he? He's going to fight Sean for that. Into the back of Sean there on the side. Little nudge again to get some space, and more little bits of nudging. Sean's trying to go around the outside. It's a bit ambitious, but and a bit more, even more. So Ashley's really not having this at all. Sean's going for the championship. Ashley does not care. He wants to fight anyone. But at least the cars are both red. You won't see the damage. And Leon in very, very early on lap 8. So, and I think also that looked like it was Sean that come in. So Sean's trying to do the same strategy he's done in the other 2 races and pit early and get some track position. Meanwhile, Nathan tries to come over the curb and get an inside run on Liam, and it's worked. And that moves him up into the podium places, but it's probably too little too late for Nathan. He needs to win this and hope Ben has a terrible race, but to be honest with you, Ben's up into 2nd, and really he can just follow Adam if he really wants to. I'm sure in the back of his mind he's thinking of the hat-trick of wins, which has never been done. We saw Sean do the double earlier in the season at a very wet Red Bull track where the 4-wheel drives had maybe a slight advantage there, but no one's done a treble. 3 wins in a row this season, and Adam already being closed down by Ben. You can see it visually. And then Nathan in 3rd, Liam in 4th, are pitting. Ashley pits out of 5th place. Lewis in the pink 60th anniversary livery coming through there in 5th, and Leon now being attacked by Sean, but they have both pitted. And it looked like Sean now is making the overtaking. He has passed into Druids. He's passed Leon. Leon being extremely fair with him. Gave him racing room. It's exactly what you'd expect. Yep, moving on. And now Ben's on the back of Adam. He's caught him in a couple corners, and Adam's tyre wear woes are coming back to haunt him. He just does not seem to have the car under him. As we look back now from Adam, so we got a bit lost there with the footage, but looking back from Adam and look at the corner speed of that car. Ben now trying to get around the outside. He actually takes the lead here, look, but no, he will not get around the outside, and he will not want to take risks. He doesn't. Folds back in behind Adam and try and get a run through Graham Hill bend. Adam's quite late into the corner. Ben gets a good run off the corner, and he's flashing his lights now to say, I want to get past. You can see that Nathan and Liam's closing. Adam very quick through the medium speed corners, but you can see that the Mondeo car is closing. Now will Ben think about taking a pit stop? He does. He dives in last minute, and Nathan thought about it as well. You saw his car twitch. He thought, do I follow him in? He decided against it. So Nathan stays out. He needs to do something different to Ben. He'll maybe hope that Ben comes out in traffic and gets into all sorts of issues, but Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Looks like he's got clean air, and he has. He just comes out in front of Sean. So Sean's strategy works well. He's closed the gap to Ben, look, big time. Adam still leads though, and he will be reluctant to let that go. He's got Nathan behind him, and Liam closing fast. Meanwhile at the back here, 10th for Brian with Coleman right behind him. Coleman will go for the move down the inside. Brian's not seen him, and Coleman's having to force his way through a little bit, but he backs off to give the position. Good gentlemanly bit of driving. Nathan Pitts at second, but I think he's a lap late. Just seems to be the theme of his night. He just hasn't really got his pit stops right, and the strategy's been a bit of a mess, and he's just made a few errors. It's just not worked out for him. He's been fast all season, and he'll come out behind Ben, and will he come out ahead of Sean? No, he's got Sean. Sean won't be able to get around the outside of Paddock, and you don't want a Scotsman anywhere near that gravel. John Clennon been off there a few times famously, and Sean actually went off there in the first race of the season. And Coleman still stuck behind Brian. For how much longer it takes Fate to move down the inside, Brian's not looking at that though. And that's allowing Andrew to close in. Adam does pit, understeer. Look at the state of his tyres. You see it on the graphic there, they're fully half worn, and he's still got half the race to go, so really not good tyre wear on that car. And he comes out and he'll lose the lead, and he does. Ben's through, Nathan's through, Sean's through, and he's aggressively come out the pits there. That's a bit naughty. Liam goes through as well. But yeah, that was a bit silly. You've just got to follow the pit lane line exit really. You don't want to be just chopping out like that, because you can cause a massive accident. But Liam was wise to it and did avoid the incident, so it's one saving grace, I suppose. But Adam, with slightly fresher tyres, needs to strike in the first couple laps really, because the Hyundai is just eating them. Meanwhile, Lewis is on the recovery after the general assault from that man Jeff earlier on. And Jeff's coming up through nicely as well, and Coleman has finally got through past Brian, and Andrew looked to do the same in the next couple of laps. Brian not quite got the pace, but fairly new to the series, so you've got to expect that. These guys are not new to it, and these guys have been racing hard all season, and it is the top three that have been the class act this season. And that's Ben, Nathan and Sean. Liam's been good in the second half of the season, but his first half really let him down, and he missed a round, so I guess he can be fairly happy with the second half of the season. Look forward to possibly improving his position next season. But we'll go into next season just after all these races. Nathan with the fastest middle sector of the race and the fastest lap last time through, so he's not giving up on this and is closing down Ben. Ben will have his work cut out in this race. It will not be a 5-second win in this race. In fact, Sean, Liam and Adam are not that far back too, so these two start scrapping. This could turn the tables on Ben. Ben's championship is not secure now. Nathan will have to do something. He can't afford just to sit behind this time. He's got to make a move. He's got to get aggressive. And I'm sure he's thinking about where he can do it. He's very fast through the bottom bend there and onto this straight. He'll carry speed and then try to make a move into the last corner. If he can force Ben to make an outside line here and try and dive down the inside, but it's not on this time. Now try to cut back and get a good run onto this straight and use the power of the Lexus, the famous power that I go on about every race. But it is extremely fast down the straights, and he's actually drawing close to Ben. He's trying to go around the outside. That won't work. He'll try to cut back. We've seen him do that on other people, but it's not going to work this time. Ben takes a bit of curb and holds the inside and brakes late into the corner. Doesn't even feel the need to defend because he knows he's good on the brakes there. Nathan though will not give up. This is, like I say, he's really running out of time now. He's not had a good first two races, and he's seen his championship lead disappear. In fact, he's seen his second place in the championship disappear, so he needs this to even finish second in the championship. And Sean, the guy that he's racing for that spot, is in third and not closing. Nathan now a bit wide out of the last corner there, so he won't have the run down the straight this time. They've been trading fastest laps, you can see that. The pace is starting to drop off now as the tyres start to get a little bit worn towards the end of this race. We're in the final quarter, and in fact Leon's pitted again out of 7th place. So risky strategy. It didn't really work for anyone in the last race. Adam actually holding on quite well this time, so maybe going later into the races helped him. And Nathan now still pushing Ben, still waiting for an opportunity, still waiting for a mistake that doesn't seem to be happening right now. All over the curbs, all over the inside curb, and he's gone a bit wide, and he's on the grass, and he's off and he's lost it. He's come back onto the track, but he's lost 2 positions, and Liam straight to the side of him says, get out of the way, what are you playing at? And dives through. Nathan has just blown it again. It's just the story of his meeting, and now he's down the inside of Liam, and he's trying to get the position back off Liam, and you should do that. Liam was trying to swing around the outside, more contact. Liam's turned into him a little bit, but Nathan had nowhere to go, and he should just dive up the inside. He's got to, and he's just not being able to pull those moves off, and it's sideways again. Nathan overdriving now, and Adam won't mess around him. Dive down the inside, more contact. Adam was probably within his right to go down the inside there. He was about halfway down the car, so Nathan just, it's just not working out for him at all. He's wide again into this corner. He needs to be careful this time. Try to get a switch back on Adam. Adam holding the tight lines, a bit clever to that though. And Nathan's just, it's just gone from bad to worse. But he's got the speed now. He tried to little switch back. He looks down the inside, and there's a barrier there. And he's hit Adam. They're both off. Massive crash into paddock, and they're both round. And Adam will recover first. Nathan recovers. Lewis goes through the middle of him, laughing his ass off probably. But Nathan's championship is over. This is now Ben's to lose. Sean as well. He's up to second through all of this. We can't forget that. So Sean's probably the one that's got any chance now. Between Ben and Sean, Nathan's just basically overdriven and had a disaster. Totally untypical of the man that I've seen win at least multiple championships in other series. But Nathan's just not had his luck. It's not been his night, and it has to be someone that loses. But I think we can rule him out now of the championship. It's between Ben and Sean Sean needs a massive mistake from Ben, who's got a pretty nice lead of about 2.5 seconds, I would say. Liam bobbing along quite nicely in third. Big gap now back to Lewis in fourth, and Adam fifth. Nathan just feel sorry for him in a way. It's just anything he did today just didn't work. The car looks a bit loose, and it's loose again there. He's hanging onto it sideways. Great car control, but it's not going forwards, and that's a disaster for Nathan. That's the only way to put it. Jeff behind him in there in 7th place. Jeff again doing really well, best of the midfield this time. Again, it's 2 6th places in the first 2 races, and now the way Nathan's going, it could be another 6th place. But Adam now all over the back of Lewis, and that's probably one car he can try and beat down the straight. He's got the inside line, he's got an overlap. Lewis knows it, gives him the space. Great bit of driving between these two. Lewis tries to go around the outside, but that hasn't worked all day, and it won't work now. More contact, but fair is fair. Lewis comes across unnecessarily and kind of slams in the side of Adam. Pretty pointless to do that. And Adam takes the position, but Lewis will just throw it down the inside in hope, and he does, and it works, and Adam sees it coming and try to get another overlap on Lewis, who's got a bit of a wriggle out of the corner, but nope. Lewis takes the position and up into 4th place again. Adam won't give up though, and it does seem that he's found the best way to drive his car now, and actually has some speed at the end of the race. By pitting later in the race, it does seem to have helped him be faster in the second half of the race. And now trying to get an overlap, he's switched back on Lewis this time, and he's got the inside again. Can he now nail it this time? Lewis is sideways, got a bit wider, and this time Adam has it. And he should be able to cover him off, and Nathan recovers and retakes Lewis as well. So Lewis is another one that's not quite had the speed this race, or this meeting. And with 2 laps to go now, not long to go. I'm sure that Ben up front is starting to feel that this championship's his. Start to feel that he shouldn't make a mistake, and Lewis back up the inside of Nathan. He's not taking that line down. He's just got a nice move there, a Matt Neal overtake as they call it. But Nathan around the outside. Will the Lexus, how much faster is the Lexus in the Toyota? And there's your answer. See you later. And he might even have a run at Adam into the first corner, but Nathan recovering, and for what it's worth, he'll try and finish in the top 5, but he'll be gutted. There's no doubt about it. Nathan likes to win. He doesn't like coming second or third. And Adam sideways there, but holding on to the 4th place, and that would be some kind of reward for his efforts, especially that qualifying lap, which was mega. But that's the only thing he can really take out of this race. The lap's counting down though, and this is the best battle on the track, so staying with it. Nathan really pressurising Adam. He had a couple of dodgy laps after his crash, or spin. Run on really, it wasn't really a spin, well, a massive crash actually with Adam, forgot that. So he's recovering well, and these two are fighting back in the place where they were before the accident. So a good recovery. Scooby though, he thought about the inside and maybe should have went around the outside instead, and no one's overtaken there yet. And with the way his car's handling right now, Nathan's not going to pull that off. Lewis goes grass tracking, why not? A little tap up the back from Nathan there on Adam, trying to unsettle the driver there, but through to win the race, and the 3rd race of the day, and with it the championship is Ben. Ben wins the race and the championship. Sean 2nd and 2nd in the championship. Liam 3rd, completing the podium with another podium at the end of the season. Adam will come 4th. Where's Nathan? He's not in 5th. Where's Nathan gone? Lewis comes across in 5th. Jeff is 6th again. That's a hat-trick of 6 for him. 7th for Leon. Where the hell? Where is Nathan gone? Nathan's coming across the line 8th, but now he's not even crossing the line in 8th. 8th for Ashley, 9th for Coleman, 10th looks like for Andrew. Nathan won't even cross the line. He trickles across the line 11th. And here's the footage. We have it. We have the replay. So Nathan's looking for a move on Adam. He's gone over the curb on the first corner, over across the curb on the second one, over the grass again, and the same thing, and lost the car, and an unfitting end to what has been a great season for Nathan until this round. And you do feel for him a little bit, but that's the same mistake twice. He's just trying to carry too much speed. But Ben wins the race in the championship, as we mentioned. Sean 2nd, Liam 3rd, Adam 4th, Lewis 5th, Jeff 6th again, brilliant. 7th for Leon, brilliant. 8th for Ash, brilliant. 9th for Coleman, 10th for Andrew, no points for Nathan, but Ben is the champion, and a deserving one. There we go, with a 19-point lead. So in the end it was quite easy. Sean takes 2nd from Nathan, Lewis in 4th, Liam 5th, great recovery in the second half of the season for him, and Adam 6th, and the rest follow. So let's talk about season 2 and the preview here. We'll go through the drivers and the cars, and in the Vauxhall team it is Sharp and Piper in the 84 and 99 car, and they've gone with a Vauxhall Vectra 98 livery, very nice indeed. Then we have McHugh and Welsh, sorry if I said that wrong, Greg, and they're in the Hamilton car 251 and number 72. In the Seat team we have Osler and Colombero, and that's number 66 and 69. Good team that. And then we have McEwen number 41, Douglas number 26 in the Laser Tools car. All of these are Mazdas, by the way. Group 4 cars were all going to be in the same car. In the Plato livery car it's Cole and Hillman, number 14 for Sean and 24 for Jamie. And then we have the Airwaves Focus car in Brian Ross and Nathan Tompkinson. Nathan just missed out on the championship there, number 44 and 62 for Ross. Lewis Edwards number 51 and Craigie, and that's number 17. So that's that team complete, and the final team is John Riley and Ben Milden. Obviously we've just seen Ben win the championship in the Audi livery car, number 1 actually Ben switched to, and number 80 for John, and it's the champ they will be chasing in the Audi car. So we'll see you for season 2 at SBR Sim Racing. Check us out on Facebook, some great events coming up.